An easy and viable solution to poverty. Humanity Party has presented an easy and viable solution to poverty. Provide all human beings with the equal means necessary to be able to exist in our world with the basic necessities of life, free of charge, as the earth intended for its resources in support of the existence of all of Earth's life forms. What other life form needs money in order to survive? All other life forms are completely dependent upon humans for their survival. We have destroyed other life forms in support of our own. We create other life forms, even new elements, in support of our own. We are humans. We are Earth's greatest and most intelligent life form, and the only life form that considers the relevance of its own existence. We have dominion over all the earth. We do not use this dominion and our intelligence, power, and free will over Earth and over its other life forms to support our collective greatness. We use this natural hierarchy to support individual selfishness, which includes killing each other directly through war or indirectly through poverty and inequality. When sticks and stones were our only means of force, it was easy for us to escape fighting each other in defense of our selfish rights. If one group of us could use sticks and stones more effectively than another group of us, the stronger group took control. Eventually, the sticks and stones became swords and knives, and then guns and non-nuclear bombs. Whatever group had more guns and bombs controlled the other groups. It then became possible for a smaller group of people to control a larger group of people. Consider the control that 300 million Americans have had over 3 billion Chinese, Indians, and other populous nations. Anciently, the smaller groups of us, which didn't agree with the larger, stronger groups of us, had no way or means to overthrow the larger, stronger groups. The larger and stronger groups simply had more weapons. Now we have nuclear weapons. If any smaller group of us obtained just a few of these types of weapons, if we used them first, we could easily destroy and take over the larger groups of us. The larger groups of us often call the smaller groups of us terrorists. Very soon, just as the knowledge and ability to use sticks and stones or create gunpowder became widespread and easily accessible to the masses, to the smaller groups of us, the technology that is used to create weapons of mass destruction will also become widely available. The sharing of information over the internet will eventually include the precise instructions to create a nuclear weapon in one's basement, if one procures the right elements to do so. A homemade bomb will soon have quite a different meaning. Terrorist groups fight law and order, established nations that they feel are unfair to and unsupportive of the group's individuals. One day, these renegade groups will use homemade nuclear weapons. Once this starts, the complete end of the entire human race is certain. If two different groups of terrorists have access to nuclear weapons and each is successful at destroying the nations that offend it because of their own disagreements, the different groups will seek to destroy each other until none is left alive. Although civilized nations will continue the attempt to fight and eliminate terrorism through war and killing by using their advanced weaponry, once armed with the same power, the terrorists will have the same advantage. The only way to save the human race from this inevitable, history-repeated demise is to eliminate terrorism. When established governments run by self-serving politicians brand groups of people that disagree with their answers as terrorists, and they seek to destroy these disagreeable groups through armed conflicts, these governments are aggravating the problem. War will never be the answer. It never has been. War has only led to more war. Furthermore, one of the greatest political and war heroes of modern times, Napoleon Bonaparte, is attributed to saying, "You must not fight too often with one enemy, or you will teach him all your art of war." If the governments of the human race continue to develop new and more powerful weapons to fight terrorism the way that have been fighting it, they will teach terrorists the art of nuclear war. There are very good reasons why groups of people use violence and intimidation in the pursuit of political aims. The proper definition of terrorism. These people do not feel fairly and equitably represented by their governments, the heads of human civilization. Their egos are not supported and fulfilled. In other words, these people do not feel that their answers, those that they have accepted about human existence, are respected and supported. Therefore, their individual worth and purpose is threatened. They do not feel that life is fair. If life is not fair, then God is not fair. And since people do not believe that it is possible that God can be unfair, the blame must be placed on others. Usually, these groups of people begin to question the powers that control their lives because their economic standing in life compared to their leaders' standard of living is grossly substandard and unequal. If God is great and loves all His children equally, why do only 1% of His children get to live with means and security? To help eliminate some of the reasons that people use violence and intimidation in pursuit of political aims, we must establish a government that fairly represents all people and supports each person's accepted answers to their own individual existence. This seems to be impossible because there are so many existential answers that give value and purpose to so many different people in so many different ways. Therefore, if we cannot agree on the answers, maybe we can establish a human government that ensures each person with the economic means to exist upon earth fairly and equitably, so that each person can find their own purpose and worth. Instead, most people are forced into submission to another's purpose and worth. Corporations do not exist to make their workers rich. Business practices exist to enrich owners. Most people are a slave in support of another's lifestyle and ego. The only government that will ever work is one that can properly eliminate slavery, completely. This we can do. This would be very easy to do with the current technology that exists among us, because after all, is it really us against them, or is it us against us? Thump has the solutions. No one else does.